As Nigerians wait on President Muhammadu Buhari to append his signature to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill of 2021, today marks 25 days since it was passed to him from the National Assembly. Now, a cloud of uncertainty is hovering over the bill as the number of days allowed for presidential assent will soon elapse. I think by Sunday, it will be the last day. However, the National Assembly has the veto power to pass the bill should President Muhammadu Buhari fail to append his signature in the next 5 days. Yes, I said next 5 days. This is very interesting. For the record, I listened to Mr. Femi Adesina the other day saying that the president did not pass the amendment bill 4 years ago, as in 3 years ago, because of the time to election. Now, 2023 election now is in 2023 February. So that means we'll still have time. And if there are portions of that Electoral Act, something can still be done to amend those area of disputes. And the president will still sign it to make it a law. But it won't augur well again for the baby and the bathwater to be thrown away, that all the amendments we've been waiting for since 4 years ago to be thrown into the trash can again.
Well, I think the presidency still has a window of opportunity to sign the bill. Probably he can sign it tonight or tomorrow morning or even on Sunday morning. So I think we should be hopeful, because the National Assembly said that if he fails to sign, the National Assembly will invoke his veto power, which is guaranteed by the Nigerian Constitution. I think it is better for the president to sign it, because it's going to be an addition to, it will add to his image. He should not wait for a situation where the National Assembly will have to upturn, and use his veto power to sign the bill without him. And I think that if there is intra-party coordination, this shouldn't be a problem. The APC has majority in the National Assembly. The APC is the Senate president. It is the speaker. The APC also has the speaker, and the president is APC. Is an APC president. So I think by now,
because the excuse 4 years ago was that the National Assembly wasn't working with the executive.
They should have been intra-party meetings, intra-party discussions, engagements, so that I'm surprised that 25 days after the bill was passed on to the president is here to sign. But the window opportunity is here to expire, and I hope that he does that before Sunday.
Emeka, what do you think Mr. President has refused to sign, or did you see him signing?
The president, of course, I don't know if he has traveled to Turkey for the conference in Turkey, and he
can sign it from Turkey.
Yeah. Well, there was a bill. I think there was a bill or something he signed in London when he was on medical vacation
from his aircraft.
Yes, fine, but I just hope the president will not throw away this golden opportunity to write his name in history concerning Nigeria's electoral reforms, because the first opportunity he threw it away. This second opportunity, his lieutenants are still giving excuses. And you see, history does not forgive, people who fail to take momentous decisions at certain epochs. And this is an epochal moment for Nigeria, because democracy has come around, has gone over 20 years now. And certain definite fundamental reforms are needed in the electoral process. Now, are we going to throw these things away with all the hard work that was done, put into getting the other bill under Dr. Bukola Saraki? That one was shelved aside. And then this one again. Now, the president was a beneficiary of direct primaries in 2018. That was what APC chose in giving him the ticket. Now, why is he allowing himself to be torn between the governors and the National Assembly members? The governors are not lawmakers. The National Assembly has the sole power to make laws for the federation. So, of course, the president ought to have consulted widely within his party, instead of allowing this thing to hang and then keeping the nation in suspect. Because You have electronic transmission of results. You have some other fundamental reforms in this bill. The next thing you hear now, people coming out to say, okay, no, there's no big deal. We can move on like that. We cannot. We cannot move on like that. There must, every society.
Like recognition of the
every society must,
those new things
every society must reform its methods, from time to time, so that it can advance onto the next level of development. But if we still think that just one issue, direct primaries, will hold things back, then somehow the president is actually, like Mr. Femi Falana or SAN said, the president is actually, will I say scared or afraid or worried or wary of offending powerful governors who have really stood by him. But again, what about the National Assembly that has, given assent to, so many things he has brought before them that they've been called the rubber stamp assembly? Are they going to now approving his loans, approving almost all his nominations? Now, will all this work go down the drain? I think the president should have a rethink. Well, he can do it like the petroleum industry bill, sign it and then return it to the National Assembly with notes for amendments. But not to sign it at all, either, it's not good.
Okay, we have Ignatius from Owerri in Imo State.
Yeah, this is Ignatius. I'm following from Owerri.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, the issue of the electoral amendment, I don't think there is any reason Mr. President cannot sign it, especially given the fact that he has effectively promised to Nigerians that he's going to leave a legacy of fair, credible, and sound elections for Nigeria. But it appears his body language, or would I say the attitude of people around him, suggests otherwise. This is the same president who signed the VIP bill, even when there were controversies surrounding it, at a record speed. So what stops him from also signing this bill into law? If there is need for amendments subsequently, let's see how we can go about this. So let him sign this bill and let Nigerians, be prepared to have a very decent, credible, transparent, and fair election that will guarantee us the type of people and leadership we need in this country so that this country can move forward.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Wale Adeoye, when you look at this bill and the process of dusting up the bill, bringing it from the 8th Assembly, what he did there before, you have the Joint Committee of the National Assembly, they will do public hearing across the geopolitical zones of the country, billions, we spent, to get to this stage. So what we're saying now is that, yes, the president might have spotted, because the president alone will not just see this thing and sign. The Attorney General will have to do his work. The legal advisors around him would have seen some booby traps or some things that might not be in the overall interests of one thing or something that they will need to the National Assembly to work on. So if that is where we are now, I think it's good for the Mr. President to say it on time, so that the National Assembly, since you said it earlier, that they're working together, it's like partners, they can reconsider that portion, and so that this bill will be ready.
The bill is in the public domain, and if the president thinks there are some dark areas, of course he needs to let Nigerians know, and it's not something you have to debate in your bedroom and all that. But most of the time you discover that personal interest, or it may not be the president, just one or two individuals who are very powerful, who are thinking of their own personal, future, narrow ambition, viewing the bill, that is of public interest from their own, of the prism of their own parochial interest. They will just go and tell the president, don't sign this. And I think we should look at this bill from the overall interest of Nigerians. If you look at the debate of the bill across party lines, people, they all supported the bill, members of APGA, PDP, APC, and I think it's a very popular, in fact, one of the few bills that, united all the, members of the National Assembly across party lines. So, and I have not seen dissenting views even across the country. There are
Even
people
civil
saying
society
this. So
organizations,
everybody
like
thinks this is a very great
they've
bill.
been canvassing for this bill so that it will give INEC the opportunity to implement those reforms ahead of next election.
And to make elections, the primaries to be transparent and people driven. So I hope the president will do the right thing at the right time. And I hope and I also believe there are some, it's not all the governors that are opposed, to I don't think it's all of them. But even if all of them are opposed to signing the bill, the National Assembly responsibility is to make laws for the well-being of Nigerians. And they have done their bill. So the president should go ahead and sign the bill. And I hope he does that before Sunday.
Emeka, now, have we ever witnessed a situation whereby what if Mr. President does not sign it?
Well, it is possible for the National Assembly to override his veto. Yes, of course.
Do you see this National Assembly as that courageous?
No, that's why I said it is possible. But it being possible is also dependent on the will of the National Assembly to act in the public interest. But I don't think this National Assembly will do so. Yes, of course. I believe there have been one or two instances where, the president's veto, where the National Assembly over the president's veto, I think under President Obasanjo, But one thing is clear, that the National Assembly has really sold itself short in terms of it, being regarded as as one of the strong institutions of democracy. Nigeria, and it was warned. Senators and members of the House of Representatives were warned that all this rubber stamp attitude will push them into a corner from which they will not be able to emerge easily. And this is the situation they found themselves. They cannot override the president with all the noise. It's just empty noise. But the point to be made is that President Buhari ought to know that the earlier INEC is able to begin work, latest from February 2022, the earlier INEC is able to begin work, and politicians can begin work ahead of 2023 election, the better for Nigeria.
Okay, I have Ada from Jos. Thank you for joining us, Ada.
So, journalist Hangout. Please, I hope you don't mind. I want to talk about the policing because we're off here.
Yeah, please.
So people are going to good.
Okay.
So the police, the issue about the police, I commend Buhari for the 20% increase in salary. So that is the dividend of the NSAS thing. But they should go beyond that. How they are trained, the day I had the opportunity to go to where they are trained. In fact, I had good info. Where they live, where they work, the police stations, they are poorly equipped. The schools of their children go to another. They should get a kind of welfare package holistically, like having a house for them automatically. If the person dies in service, the person gets a house. If the person retires, the person gets a house. So that will help to check all these corruption I'm talking about. When Nigerians keep on talking about their corruption, I'm not holding brief for them. But the Nigerians themselves, are they not corrupt? The people giving the money, so take the same policemen to UK or America. They will not be behaving the way they do. Everything they do is systemic. Like I see them honestly speaking. So and then there's inflation. This 20% you're talking about, Ayo. Look, it's nothing to write home about as far as I'm concerned, even though I'm commending them. With the rise in inflation, the food prices, it won't do much for them. God bless us. Let's not give up on this country.
Thank you, Ada. Yeah. Thank you for your contribution. So, ultimately, when we look at we're counting down to the 2023 election, and we said if they fixed February, I think 14th or 18th, 2023.
February 18th.
February 18th. For the presidential election. So officially the countdown has begun. Yeah. Next year is going to be politicking.
Governance will take it back.
All true. But this was like a setback for the last election we had. As in the court cases, it affected the litigation because when we didn't have the law in which the election will be standing, and some you can see that we had some supreme pronouncement from the Supreme Court at variance with what is on ground. But a lot of Nigerians will want to know that, look, how do we know that what the National Assembly has done in this Electoral Act is in the interests of Nigerians?
Well, I think it's a coincidence of interest between the members of the National Assembly and also the people. Because members of the National Assembly also, some of them have grievances with their state governors, and they know that if there is direct primary, it will favor them. So I call it coincidence of interest. And that does not really matter. What matters is that many Nigerians, you know, if you go and talk to them, they believe that this is a better option for us. And of course, when you remember what happened in the SDP NRC days, you know, where people had to queue up, you shoot your candidate, you queue up behind your candidate. And then, no, it's an open thing. It's difficult to manipulate, not that it's foolproof, but it's more transparent than, you know, indirect primary, where a few people, you know, we just go and sit down and then tell you that they have, you know, elected a senator or whoever. So I think it's a coincidence of interest, but as we are talking now, this is what I think is the best interest for us, for the people.
Omega, what do you expect from Mr. President?
Well, I will urge him to sign the bill, the amendment bill. It's just an amendment. I will urge him to sign it and then send whatever observations he has to the National Assembly for, you know, necessary corrections before, so that we can sort out this thing before February 2022.
All right, now.